So it wasn't Burn the Witch so much as it was like the setting for that kind of turned us off.
I don't know what it was about. We've talked about this in the past. I don't know. Like, Burn the Witch was just kind of meh to me. I think, if I had to guess, it was the just kind of attention spans, right? Like, we're adults now, and if shit doesn't capture us in the first, like, 3 chapters, we out, you know, and that's our fault. That's society's fault. That's society.
We're preconditioned at this point to, like, drop something super quickly. Yeah. I stuck with Burn the Witch for all 4 chapters, but there still was something missing. But when I hopped back into this one shot, it was like coming home in a way.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that, because we gave Kubo more time to suck us in with Bleach, because we watched it as kids, you know what I mean? And when you're kids, you don't really have anything else to do. Like,
yeah, I was sitting up till 3 a.m. until Major took me home on Adult Swim.
Yeah, the point, I think, that you become an adult is when, instead of looking for something to waste all of your time because you're desperate for time to move quicker, you are instead desperate for time to slow down. And like there was a point where, instead of, because I remember I used to, when I saw a series and how long it was, like One Piece, I was like, awesome, because I'm so fucking bored. I need something to pass the time. But nowadays it's like, oh, I want more time. I'm scared about how fast it's going. That's going to take forever. I can't do that. So try to get back into the mentality. I don't know when this turned into a fucking therapy stream. Point being is that I think is my main issue, and of why, like, if shit doesn't get me immediately, yeah, and I need to give it more time. And I'm sure if we gave Burn the Witch 20, 30, 40 chapters, assuming it gets there, it'd be fine. But
the way it seems, it's like being set up as like a seasonal manga, and hopefully like in season 2 or season 3 of that, it gets better. But like, for example, like I talked about him on the last Twitch streams, like I hadn't even sat down and watched the fucking Hell of a Boss episode because I didn't have time.
But see, you do have time. You just trick yourself into thinking. Yeah. Like, I don't know about you. I do this thing where I get home and I think of all these things that I want to do. But then I'm like, but I convince myself that I don't have time to do any of them, and then I just end up lying in bed scrolling through TikTok all day because I don't have time to do anything that takes long. Yeah, I don't have time to do anything that takes longer than 5 minutes, so I'll just do a bunch of things that take 30 seconds that add up to 12 hours. Yeah. You see what I mean? It's a trick. It's a dopamine trick. Yeah. Rather than the dopamine that takes maybe 20 minutes to get, you'd rather get a bunch of small hits of dopamine that take 2 seconds to get. Yeah. And then you're trapped in this fucking, I'm unloading right now. I've been thinking about this for a while. Then you're trapped in this fucking, like, never-ending, like, unsatisfying, constant blue ballsing of your hobbies in life. Don't do it. It's not worth it. But yeah, no, so, like I said, I think at some point, that's why I like binging, honestly, because if it's less of a commitment and it's just immediate and I can just binge, you know, like, so, like, if, I don't know, at some point if Burn the Witch has like 20 chapters, I'll just binge through all that. But luckily, like I said, Bleach, I already like the characters. They've been established. So this one shot was fucking awesome. And the fact that it's setting it up to be like an actual arc, what do you want to start with? I don't know. There's so much to talk about here.
Well, I mean, we need a rematch with Szayelaporro here. Like, hardcore. I want to see more of
Szayelaporro.
Because he was one of my favorite fucking idiots to just laugh at for the longest time on Adult Swim. Like, oh my god.
Idiots in the sense that he's so smart, he's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, you can't deny that. He overcomplicated everything to an absurd degree. Making him at his own fucking Achilles heel.
He was one of those people that think he's like Yagami.
Yeah.
I've calculated it.
Every possible outcome.
This room perfectly adapts to your bankai and cancels it out. I don't know. Yeah. Reduce the damage. All right. Anyway, but not even just Sayel though. I think like. How do I want to start this? So let's just start with the obvious. This reveal that like everyone that's like captain class spiritual pressure or above, anywhere around that area, they cannot return to, because I'm sure you remember, it wasn't like mentioned or talked about a lot in the original series, but it was basically confirmed, I think in the Kai and Shiba Rukia flashback, that when a Soul Reaper dies, when you die in the living world, you go to either Soul Society or your Hollow or, you know, yada yada, but then when you die as a creature in the Soul Society, since your body's not matter anymore, it's just Reishi, the soul goes to it gets reincarnated into a new matter body in living world, but your Reishi kind of just like spreads out into the, like, it creates, like, it becomes the matter of Soul Society, and matter of Soul Society is Reishi, right? But if you're so... It's very midichlorian-y, actually.
Yeah,
what they
in a way.
Where, so, like, each, like, I don't know if it's cell or molecule of Reishi has a certain density of spiritual pressure. And when you are a Captain Class Soul Reaper, it's so dense that it literally cannot return to the Soul Society. And the only place that they can just shunt it off to is hell. So now, that means...
So they're just doubling down on the midichlorians. Like, Lucas was going to, in the sequel, so he was going direct.
Yeah, so we're talking, Yamamoto in hell. Yeah. Unohana in hell. Ukitake in hell. Now, people didn't even think about this. All the past Soul Reapers, so like all the past Kenpachis.
Definitely all the past Kenpachis.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other people. Like, my brain is goop at the moment.
Kenny Prime gonna go to hell.
Well, that also means that, like, whenever they need to deal with this, because that means the current captains, Ichigo, whenever he dies, will go to hell. Ichigo's kid probably.
Ichigo's kid's super hell.
Ichigo's kid is, like, leading, seemingly unconsciously leading spirits to hell, which is neat. People were talking, like, maybe he doesn't know the difference. Like, maybe Ichigo has, like, told him about, like, Soul Society gates, not thinking he'll ever encounter hell. So when what the fuck is his name? Kazui. When Kazui finds this, like, random spirit portal that he can open up, he probably just thinks it's the Soul Society. Because he tells him, oh, everyone's over there. So he probably thinks it's the Soul Society. Yeah. So I can't wait for the reveal to this fucking 6-year-old, or however old he is. Like,
traumatized!
Yeah, so you've been unconsciously leading people to hell, which is just a permanent torture dimension. And speaking of that, let's talk about what hell is like. I really like... This is something that Kubo, I think, has always been really strong at, is, like, doing cool metaphorical shit and then, like, manifesting it physically. So, this idea of, in hell, in the Bleach verse, one of, like, the punishments or, like, the afflictions that you get in hell is that all of your emotions that you would typically try to conceal or hide will unconsciously, like, involuntarily flow out of you, like, constantly. So, you know, you're constantly crying, you're constantly laughing. That's how I read it anyway. Like, all emotions are outward, which is why Sayel was so weird. He was, like, euphoric but crying but laughing but, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And what makes that so cool with hollows is because since the hollow hole was a representation of their emptiness, and that is an emotion, it has now physically moved to the outside of their body. So they have these cool little rings. Which, one more thing, like that initial hollow that showed up with, like, the weird rings on their shoulder, like, it was such a cool way to make the design of the hollows different. And, like, honestly, the first thing I thought of was, like, Siren Head, like the thing. Like, it looked like a horror show. So, like, what a clever way for Kubo to both make it, like... One, just an excuse, because, like, that's my favorite type of character design in anything. When it's not just, oh, I made it look cool just to look cool, it actually has a reason. And the reason in this instance is that's what hell physically does to you. It physically and emotionally changes you.
Less Dante from Black Clover, more, like, Lovecraftian horror.
Some fucking gimp suit shit. Like, well, I'm just saying, like, it's the same thing. I always talk about Senku's design in Dr. Stone.
It went from being, like, shitty.
No, I'm not even talking about his face. His face went from ugly to cute. I'm talking about his, like, actual, clothing. Like, the E equals MC square thing is so... I always love that because there's, like, a reason for it, right? Like, imagine if he dressed like that, but there was never the flashback that explained why. Like, it would immediately go from cool to cringe. Like, if it was just like, I just took a Sharpie and wrote equals... Because if that flashback of Senku, like, losing his mind and having to write E equals MC squared with his blood to keep his sanity, if that didn't exist, that would have been the same level as Joker from the original Suicide Squad. Like, we tattooed Joker on his head because he's the Joker.
Damaged.
We put damage. Why? Because he's damaged and he's the Joker.
I fucking hate I fucking hated that Joker design.
Wait, but do you see the point I'm making, right? Like, that one little flashback turned that character design from garbage to amazing. Mm-hmm. So, like, it really is, like, little... tiny decisions like that. Like, if it was just, oh, they have these weird little holes in the inside of their body, it would be like, oh, that looks cool, but it's just to look cool. But because Kubo explains it, now I'm fucking in. Like, that's so cool. It means something that they look like that.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
Like, literally, what really interests me here is this is being set up for a full arc.
Which is weird.
Because, he got booted out of Jump, basically, for... you know, taking too long to wrap it up.
Shonen went, baby, come back!
It really did. But like,
it really does feel like they went to Kishimoto. Kishimoto just fucked it up, and then they were like,
they went to Toriko's.
He fucked it up.
He fucked it all up. Then now we're getting Kubo back.
All right, Koobs, please. And
please
Oda,
save our magazine.
And Oda, of course, is like 3 years away from like leaving forever, probably. So they're like, oh god, oh fuck.
It's literally the God save the Queen moment.
And then, of course, Fujimoto was like, I don't want to be in your magazine. Put me on the app.
Put me in the app so I can have titties.
Yeah, I want full uncensored orgies in my manga. And they're like, oh, there's no one in our magazine.
Because, like, literally, this is something Thurman and I actually talked about for a bit. I wish he was here for this, but, like, we've been talking about this for a while now. Like, we basically, in 3-4 years, we're not going to really have a magazine because Mashal's ending up.
I don't think that's something to worry about because, like, we say this all the time.
But,
hold
like,
on, real quick. We say this all the time, but there's always amazing
stuff
coming. Like, 3 years ago, we would have never thought Chainsaw Man was going to be a thing. And now, you know what I mean?
But, like, we're in the death of this long-running series phase. So now we'll have 3 series that are hitting their hundreds and then a bunch of newbies that are going to play the same game we had when Bleach ended.
I'm honestly okay with series being more like 70, 80 chapters.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% okay with that, but like getting established in Jump is a struggle, and it's very easily proven by like how many shows and anime and manga continue to get canceled.
But with series being shorter now, that means we'll be able to cycle through a lot more new ideas quicker.
It's a new era that kind of leads us in this like catch-22 like bubble, really, because we have Candy Flurry, which is basically ending.
Yeah, and by the way, I am very embarrassed about our take on Candy Flurry. I hyped when I titled that video, I was like, the perfect first I don't know why, I really liked the concept, I like the characters, but it just went nowhere.
It was a super unique concept that ended up poorly executed.
It could have been cool, yeah. I still stand by that.
It could have been cool if they had expanded on the powers and focused less on the stupid day-to-day life of like, I might be wanted for all the wrong reasons. It's just how you tell a story.
Well, honestly, and you can tell me because you read more than me, but like, I liked the idea that I wanted her to actually have been the one that did it. And I'm guessing she's not. No. Yeah, so that's they pushed out. It could have been cool if she really did do it and she had a legit reason and she was like an anti-hero or like a Light Yagami type or something. Like if you, I don't know, because you know me, I like dark shit in happy-go-lucky world. So if you have a candy power world, but it's like dark as fuck, I would love that.
Yeah, anyway. I mean, hell, the Devil Fruits kind of have that in a way.
Well, yeah. I mean, fucking Katakuri Luffy's one of the more emotional fights in the series, and it's a rubber guy fighting a mochi guy. Yeah,
you can do dark and cutesy shit like that. But like what I continue to bring up with Thurman is like with this, like literally.
Do you want to change the logo from the joke?
Oh right, I forgot we had that. Boop. Like we had that cycle of like for a while we had like maybe mid-running series like 200 300 chapters, but now it seems like every series that comes to Jump has been this like 20 30 40 50 chapters. So I'm hoping that Kubo can do something with like a 20 30 chapter run of this arc here.
Yeah, you know, we need to see an announcement at some point because like I just need to know how it's going to be released. Like, right. Is it going to be a monthly thing? Is it going to be a, like, Burn the Witch style? I do 4 chapters. I stop for a couple months.
Exactly.
What is it going to be?
Because now we're also caught in another loop of, like, the anime coming back for the 1,000-Year Blood War.
And now I want the anime to animate. There's so much shit for the anime to animate. The anime needs to do, I would say, 3 things. Okay, anime needs to do 1, expand on the 1,000-Year Blood War arc that is in the manga. So there's battles they can expand on. There's bankais they need to expand on, shit like that. 2, they need to animate the novels.
Yes,
they need to. Like, there's so much shit there, because the novels take place in between the end of the manga and what we're getting in this chapter. Because this chapter's 12 years later. 12 years after Ukitake died.
Right.
So the novels, I believe, are in between. Right? So you could animate the Blood War arc, add a bunch of shit, animate the novels, and then animate this Hell arc. And then that would be like 300 more episodes of Bleach. I hope they do it. I really do.
I mean, even if they don't want to go long-running anime style, they could animate this in like 4 or 5 cores. Like, really easily, like, this is...
4 or 5 what?
4 or 5 quarters, like those 12 episode.
Oh, you're talking like seasonal shit? Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because we don't want animators to crunch anymore. If at all avoidable.
It depends on how they want to do it. At the very least, I just think that there's Bleach is one of the last like very good, like really long running series.
Right.
When I say long running, I'm talking like 300 plus chapters. Like this is, I think it's worth squeezing every piece of media out of this, and I don't mean like squeezing it dry. I mean like there's a lot of shit to explore with these characters, and I'd love it if they were all explored deeply because I do love this world and I love these characters. I want Szayelaporro's face edited with that. You, my poor little bitch boy, are tripping balls. Tripping balls. Oh, like from fucking like when Mayuri fucks him?
Yeah.
I could do that.
That, like, 100%, that's a perfect use for that.
If I think of it, I'll fucking make that the skit for this video.
Oh, yeah.
And you, my little bitch boy, stop it, sir. Stop it, sir. I love how subby. Anyway, let's see what to talk about next here. So, yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. Like, Ukitake's giant fucking sword coming out of the hell portal and sucking him back in. I mean, like, there's so much to do in this arc. Like, if the villains are gonna be a squad of like the like hell versions of like old captains, like bro, that's like some fanficky shit. That's like some Bleach filler arc shit, like the sword beast stuff like that.
God, that was so cringe.
I mean, I thought the Zanpakuto arc was alright.
The Zanpakuto with the beast.
The one after, yeah, that's fair. But like, yeah, no, I mean that feels like feels like a Bleach arc to me. Like it just does. Feels so Bleach. Because Kubo's always so good at introducing like new villains.
So here's the quandary that I'm in, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get up the chapter to remember what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
But like we're led to believe that Burn the Witch and Bleach share the same universe. One is the East and one is the West Branch. And now that he would technically have, if these both are running at the same time, he would technically have two shows.
He's not gonna do them both at the same time. You know what I mean.
But could we see potential crossover here? Like,
I'm sure, and I'm glad. You know what? Good question, because one of the things that they brought up was Ichigo now has a day job, which I think is very cool. He's and it's super not. One thing I'll always give Kubo is he goes in such a different direction from every other shonen that like with Ichigo that I ever expect. Like most, you know what I mean, like. Naruto goes on to be the Hokage. Luffy's gonna be the Pirate King. Ichigo's a fucking translator. Like I think weird in a good way.
You're right.
I think that's so interesting because Ichigo really, I mean, he really is sticking to his guns on like that normal life shit.
Right.
Like good for him. Like yeah, sure, he hangs out with the Swordbearers occasionally. He probably, if he's like out on a fucking jog in the morning or something and he sees a hollow, he probably quickly just takes it out and then continues. That's kind of cool. Like I fuck with that. And the fact that he's a translator, to me, sets up the fact, an obvious crossover, right? So, like, a moment where maybe the...
Ninny and Noel come...
They have to, like, maybe, they need help, they need backup, go with your squad over there or something. I'm trying to think of an instance where they would need backup, or... I don't know, some way there's going to be a moment, I think it's very possible, where they cross over. Yeah. And then Ichigo, it'd be a very fun dynamic, because Ichigo would have to be the in-between with conversations.
Over there, she's saying, you with the fucking blowpipe.
And I hope that he meets that fucking dumb ass.
That looks just like him.
No, it looks like it does kind of look like Ichigo, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It reminds me of Keigo.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like adult Ichigo.
It's like, oh no, it's me if I got dropped on my head. It's like, I fucking hate that.
The only thing I hate about adult Bleach is Ichigo's design. He looks like a fuckboy.
I think that I'm glad you brought that up. Man, I'm so fucking hungry. I'm gonna fucking deal with it. If I get a little stuttery, it's because I can feel my blood sugar dropping right now.
But you had Starbucks.
Yeah, no, that's not. First of all, we looked that up. That entire drink is 90 calories. That's all I've had, and like a Ritz cracker. Anyway, so. What was I just saying? What were we talking about?
Ichigo's shitty design.
Oh, yeah, no, I actually think he improved it quite a bit, because the final chapter of Bleach...
Oh, God help that version.
The final chapter of Bleach, he looks like a boring-ass dad, and, like, and he I think he did a good job of combining Ichigo's like teenage hair and his adult hair, because now it's still as short, but he's got it like spiked up.
Yeah,
so he's kind of looking good.
He done something with it.
Finally.
He's like, I can't look like a dad all day.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you know him and Orihime are slamming like.
100%.
So let's talk about Rukia too. I love. So he's out and about, and Rukia is learning FaceTime technology.
Yeah.
Because Uehara, now that he's not banned from the Soul Society, he's bringing Instagram, Facebook, fucking WhatsApp, everything. They got Snapchat. They're sending fucking Soul Reaper titty pics. I guarantee you.
Hey Toshiro, pay attention to me.
Rangiku is absolutely sending like titty and pussy pics to everyone.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Yeah, 100%. Times are tough, man.
I mean, Aizen and Yahweh aren't threatening the world anymore.
I hope they let Aizen at least have a fucking cell phone down in the Mukan.
Here, everyone's got one. You should too.
But either way, I mean, like, it's funny you say that, but like in our jails, like you're allowed certain, like you're allowed to read, but like it's like literally covered under the law. Like you're allowed to like write articles and read books if you want. That's how Hitler wrote, this, obviously Hitler wasn't in our jail, but Hitler was able to write his book in prison because like one of the rules was like we can't stop you from like writing and reading, and that's like a human right or whatever. Point being, I can see that actually being a thing, but the fact that Uehara, now that he's not banished from the Soul Society, he's just coming in, just upgrading all their shit. Like, you guys... Because remember, we saw this in the past. Normally, it takes a long time for technology from the living world to slowly migrate into the Soul Society. Because in the Turn Back the Pendulum arc, Shinji was like, oh, it's this new thing from the human world. It's like record players and shit, you know? And that was like, you know, they're kind of slowly catching up. And I love that Uehara's just like, you guys need a major overhaul.
Here's everything I had. Let me reverse engineer this shit and catch you up.
Oh, good for him. And then that leads us to Mayuri being jealous. Super fucking salty of Uehara. Because Mayuri's inventions are all disgusting. Like all of Mayuri's inventions involve like insects with like cameras in their bodies and fucking like Uehara would just be okay. Let's take a hypothetical scenario here. We got Uehara, we got Mayuri. How are both of them gonna handle coronavirus? Uehara is just like, oh yeah, we got a vaccine. Bam, you're done. Mayuri would be like, I've got these insects that crawl through your pores and eat the coronavirus and shit it out of your blood. Like, all right, Mayuri.
Please leave the pseudoscience to the right-wing Soul Reapers.
They might. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, Mayuri, I have no doubt that Mayuri's shit all works really well. I'm sure it all works, but he's got this aesthetic that he has to stick to.
We have to keep this Lovecraftian bullshit.
It has to be horrific. That's Mayuri's rule. All of my shit must be... Remember that guy from fucking... Hell of a Boss, where he's like, I am wacky and eccentric, therefore I must do eccentric shit. That's Mayuri.
Yes. When that character was on screen, that's all I fucking saw too. It was like, yes, perfect.
So, how about, do we want to talk about Renji and Rukia's daughter having a fun little master-student relationship with Ikkaku?
I never expected him to take up the sensei role. I always thought he was a bit too hot-headed to be a teacher.
You know, and that's really cute. And a part of me thinks it's probably, because, you know, he's good friends with Renji.
Right.
So I think that, you know, hey, it's your daughter.
It's more of like my Bankai is less Mamie in case.
I don't think he's gonna use his Bankai against
it's Ikkaku. He gets pissed off if he gets shown off. He's gonna go like Bankai.
Well, remember too. Never forget, it's tragic. His Bankai is permanently weaker. That was revealed because when it got destroyed, they could never fully repair it. That shit sucks ass. His Bankai is so cool. But let me find what I was saying here. So I like that. Renji and Rukia's daughter has really taken on like a personality of her own. I like that. I think that Kubo's done a very good job of making sure that these kids are not just carbon copy cutouts of their parents. Because Rukia and Renji, neither one of them are like 11th Squad brutes, but like it seems like Ichika is becoming very Squad 11 physicality brute. Like that's the type of Soul Reaper she's kind of aiming to be, is like this really like tough, like the type of you know, like the type of girl that comes out, stomps on you, says I'm about to fuck your shit up, bitch, you know what I mean? Like I love that. I love that. That's great.
I'm guessing deep down she's gonna be really humble and nice and kind like her mother.
Well, that's the thing, because Rukia
can be like, fuck you, I'm going to kill you.
Because I think she gets it, because, Renji's just kind of like a normal dude, and then Rukia, like, she has girly elements. She likes girly stuff, but she has this air of, like, tomboyishness and, like...
But look at
remember how she would just, like, abuse, like, she would just step on Cone and fucking twist the heel. Like, she's not...
Cone loved it, shut up!
I would love, please, mommy. But yeah, so like I love it because like you can just feel.
But you would geek out about cutesy little bunny soul candy.
I do wonder. Yeah, that's something I'd like to see from her because I mean, and like one of the things I'm not a huge fan of is that she has a crush on Kazui. I'm like, okay, out of all the boys, like that seems a little Ichiruki bait.
Yeah, I didn't get these two together. Fuck it, the kids will get together.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to see more from that. We'll see. I mean, I guess what I will say is, it's Ichigo, Orihime, Renji, and Rukia probably hang out a lot. They probably do double dates all the time. So their kids probably hang out a bunch. Mm-hmm. So it's probably like, I mean, I don't know if you ever had the situation where like my mom used to babysit like a young girl that was the same age as me, and then her mom used to babysit me, right? Mm-hmm. I won't use a full name. I'll just, her name was Erin. Not Jaeger. Erin the Jaeger. E-R-I-N.
I was going to say I didn't think you had totalitarian friends.
Yeah, so like before you even know what love is, it's easy to have like a crush, like, ooh, girl. So maybe that's what it is. I just hope that doesn't actually go anywhere, because like, I think that's a bit too cliche. Because, like, listen, man, they literally, like, the amount of different kids that I am sure she could hang out with.
Exactly.
Unless you want to go down the path that, like, because she's technically a Kuchiki, well, I guess Rukia would have taken the Abarai name, patriarchy and all. I don't know. I mean, she'd still have Kuchiki blood, technically, so maybe because she's, like, royal... like other kids are intimidated by her.
That could be.
It could be one of those like I don't really get to hang out with a lot of kids my age, so Kazuya is the only one. They could do a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. I won't be mad if they went down that route. It just would be a little disappointing that would be the way that pay off there.
I just don't think. First of all, romance love shit is like hella down the line because they're still very young anyway. I'm talking like if this goes forever and we get another time skip anyway. But I'm trying to see what does they say here. That's a shame. Don't you want to see Ichigo's kid? No, I don't. Kazuya and I aren't like anything. Aren't like anything. Okay, stop it.
Stop it! It definitely did have that energy.
But I get with Ikaku though. He's definitely like the cool. He's
the
like
uncle.
He gives me Godfather uncle vibe. Yeah, like he's he babysit. Like, all right, keep our kid busy. She's fucking really energetic today.
We gotta go off on a mission. Yeah, just take the brat.
Yeah. So we have this thing that they've been lied, like even the captains believed this, like Shunsui, the flower petal, like even he believed that we do this fucking ritual and then it helps their soul go to rest, but really they've just been sending them to hell this whole time.
And he's just condemning his best friend, basically.
Yeah. I'm trying to find other shit here,
because him and Ukitake were just like inseparable.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked, which, there's just so much possible emotions going into this arc. I'm trying to figure out where it goes, and you could really, if you want to be, like, crazy with this, like, everyone that's died in the whole series, like, maybe if Kaya and Shiba was strong enough, because obviously it's hard to tell if it's like, let me go back to what he said. Did he say it would it have applied to lieutenants as well, I wonder? Because if, like, maybe Rukia can find actual Kaya and Shiba in hell, that'd be fun.
That would be crazy.
I love the designs of the Hell Hollows.
So yes, they are one of the best things in this chapter.
I'm going to find that real quick. So he says rather. Okay, here. There's something called Spirit Class. In the past, it was a scale used among aristocrats. A normal company member has 20th class Reishi. An assistant captain has 5th or 4th class, and those greater than 3rd class are captains. Anyone above 3rd class. Okay, so he's saying a typical assistant captain is 4th or 5th. and anyone third or above gets sent to hell. So if it was a particularly powerful lieutenant, probably, because power levels have been going up in Bleach. Like you remember, 'cause for a while it was like only captains had bankais.
Yeah.
But now you have lieutenants that have bankais.
It's kind of a crazy line of demarcation here. Like, where does that actually lie?
Yeah, and Kubo can play around with that, because if you have a lieutenant that's like more powerful than your typical lieutenant, like you remember when 69 face, so Hisagi, I think his name.
Fuck, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that's his name. When he was fighting Findor, I love that I remember that guy's name more competently. It was like something Findor, the guy who said like exacta. And he had this thing where he would like break off chunks of his mass slowly, and like the more he broke off, the more his spiritual pressure went up. So he would be like, oh, now I'm as powerful as a 5th seat. Now I'm as powerful as a 4th seat. Now I'm as powerful as a 3rd seat, right? So he went up to what he perceived to be lieutenant. Like, all right, I'm a lieutenant now. And Hisagi still wiped the 4 of them. And he's like, not all lieutenants are the same power level, baby. Like, maybe I'm as powerful as what you think a captain is. You know, so it's very possible that certain lieutenants...
And this is crazy, because we've had so much foreshadowing that's never been touched on, and we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah, Kubo has talked about this like reishi density thing in the past, like not as explicitly, but like I just said, that part, the spirit density, the like Aizen talked about like the like emitters of spiritual pressure at your wrists. Like there's
a lot that can be done with this that's still left over from like way back. It's crazy. Like, you talk a lot about Oda having a hella foreshadowing for years and years and years, but you don't really think about Kubo.
Kubo's not bad.
You sit down and think how much was unfulfilled in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Then you go back further to the Iranka arc. Like, there's still plot holes from all this shit that's never really been expanded on.
I think Kubo's not as consistent, but like you can pick like 2 or 3 things that he did that's Oda level. Like I would say the foreshadowing that Hollow Ichigo was Zangetsu the whole time, that was there plain as day. Like that was, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like the moments where like Zangetsu would suck him back into himself, or like what we thought was Zangetsu would suck him back into himself. The fact that like it was always Hollow Ichigo, like that shit was great. I think the foreshadowing that Yashiro was Zaraki's Zanpakuto, I thought that was really, really well done, because in the flashback she just shows up out of nowhere in the middle of a fucking forest and like touches his sword. So like he has a bunch of shit that's like really well foreshadowed for sure.
Now the question is, like, if we continue down this path of this arc, will we start to get bits and pieces of that wrapped up along with a whole new story? Because we've seen in the past that Kubo has a tendency to lay a lot of bait but never really pay it off.
And it way too quickly. He's lovely at setting shit up, but then he rushes.
Like, how many fights were left unfulfilled answers in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc? A lot of this stuff that got expanded on in the anime itself.
Yeah. And that's why I hope the anime comes in and fixes a lot of stuff from 1,000-Year Blood War. But like,
it did wonders for the Rancor and Spada arcs.
Well, those arcs weren't really rushed in the manga.
They weren't super rushed, but like it did a wonderful telling of like expanding fights and.
Yeah, as long-running anime went, it was pretty high quality. What I'll say too is, I just think it's really interesting because he kind of pulled a Togashi with this new arc thing, because like there was a moment when Gon met Jing. And even Togashi talked about this in an interview. He was like, if I wanted to end the series, I technically could have, right there.
Right.
So, but I didn't, because I want to keep writing, right?
How's that working out 1,020-some days now?
I mean, he's got like 60 chapters post Gon meeting Jing. I mean, there's a good chunk of story he's told.
Yeah.
But, like, the point I'm saying, though, is like, Kubo clearly... Like, if he wanted to, this chapter could have just been, like, a fun little, like, they go to the beach and have fun. Happy 20th anniversrsary, you know what I mean? But he specifically chose to, like, set up so many new questions. This could be 100 chapters. Like, what he set up here is huge. Like, he's specifically set up so many questions. So to me, it strikes me as this guy wants to come back and write more. Yeah.
And it's clear he wanted to write, just not at the pace he was writing before.
Yeah, it strikes me as, I think the authors that have clout with Shonen now are kind of coming back, being like, wait a minute, is this something you're allowing now? Can we just write, but with like less strict timelines? Is that a thing that's happening?
And the perfect example, is Sue Yoshida, like the fucking
Chojin X, right?
Yeah.
So now he's come back. Yeah, what David's bringing up here is that Chojin X is a series from the Tokyo Ghoul guy, and the
the rules for
the rule they've created is you can release this on
whenever.
your own time frame. Now I have to assume there's got to be some rules. Like I can't imagine
we can't have you wait in 1,000 days.
5 years, or a chapter 5 years from now. But like I imagine it's like as long as you release a chapter at minimum once every 3 months, it's something.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like so I mean it seems like at least with the authors that have clout now.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically telling them, like, sure, do your thing. Like Chainsaw Man, right?
Right.
Chainsaw Man was stupid popular, so they're like, sure, you want to move there? You want to take a seemingly a year break before you do part 2? Sure, do it. So, like, that's really cool.
And what he's probably doing is storyboarding and doing all this shit in the background. But, like, Fire Punch was also moderately successful. That's why they let him come back for Chainsaw Man.
It seems like if you earn your clout now, you can... You can kind of you can earn the ability to be treated better as an employee almost.
Yeah, and fucking Hell's Paradise's author would probably be able to do the same thing because that got stupid popular. And now you're seeing the same thing with Dandadan.
Yeah.
So, like, anything Fujimoto touches remotely is gold. This is a Fujimoto dick-sucking hour now.
Fujimoto knows his writing style is, like, incredibly... I think it's exactly in tune with what people are looking for in manga these days. Quick-paced, very unique, out-there shit. Yeah.
Because I read like 20, 30 chapters of Hell's Paradise on stream. That was by one of the other assistants to Chainsaw Man. And it was really good. It's just something I need to pick back up. But that kind of story is like what you will see more of, I feel like. And now that we have this, it's so interesting to see what we can theory craft here, because there's so many different characters that could be in Hell, like you said. There's so many plot threads, like I was bringing up. But what really interests me is like a time frame for something like this, because we still haven't even got confirmation for part 2 of Burn the Witch. So I'm assuming that Kubo would want to do that first.
We need an interview or like some sort of questions to be answered. For sure. I'm just So a couple more things I want to talk about. I'm just scrolling through here. I tried to bring up this earlier, but we got distracted. Rukia calling out Ichigo. Like we're trying to pretend that he's like a misogynist. the part where she's like, because he's like, she's like, oh, where's Orihime at? And she's like, and then Ichigo's like, oh, she's doing the laundry at home. And she's like, oh, so you're the type of husband who leaves all the housework to his wife. I see what's going on. You're one of those estranged couples living under the same roof, even though you've lost your domestic bliss because of emotional abuse.
Oh, crying.
Well, and that's what's funny too, because like Kubo he's done such a good job at remembering all of his characters' little quirks. Because if you remember, one of the things from early Bleach was that Rukia loved like the sitcoms and like the romantic like novels and shit. Like she would read those like trashy, shitty romance novels. You know, like the housewives that they'll read their like, my twin brother actually is the one that cheated on you. It's not, you know, stupid cheesy shit. She loved it. So you know, she's like, where'd you learn those terms? And then she says, oh yeah, we got TV now. I'm watching all these shitty fucking rom-coms. She's being influenced like a child. I love Rukia so much.
She's definitely watching the Real Housewives of the Soul Society.
Yeah. Well, I think my understanding is that she's watching shows from the world of the living.
Yeah,
that's what it says right here. We're watching world of the living shows. She's watching goddamn fucking 16 and Pregnant. Mayori's new outfit is just as horrific as always. I love this like hologram thing that he has going on that can actually shoot lasers from the eyes.
I love it. I
love that he's talking to everyone at once. So when one person shit talks him, he yells at everyone. Like he's talking.
How dare you!
Like, I didn't even say it. Mayori just does not give a fuck, and I love that about him.
If I had the talent, I would love to cosplay him.
Oh, hell yeah. And I also love, look at my boy Shinji there with his record collection in the back. He's still a cultured boy.
I love him.
Shinji's my fave, bro. And that was a little bit, because Shinji did almost nothing in this chapter, so I hope we get more of him going forward. I said I need to see his Bankai
in action.
Yeah, and that's why I need them to animate the novels at some point. Going forward here. So we have all these awesome new characters. These 2 new lieutenants.
I want the Gairu to tone it down 17 notches.
Yaru?
Yeah.
I disagree. I love it.
Her power is so fucking awesome.
Listen, she is a Gen Z Soul Reaper. Like
she's a Gen Z. Look at me, so kawaii.
Although it is kind of so basically, here's the way I look at this, right? one of my favorite things. So they talk about who her captain is. She is Lisa's captain. So Lisa was one of the Vizards.
It makes sense.
No, hold on now. So Lisa was the one who, even though she's like well past, if I remember correctly, she's well past high school. No, of course, yeah, no, she's a Soul Reaper. She's like hundreds of years old.
Right.
But she's still dressed as a schoolgirl. I don't know if you remember this. When they first were, remember that like abandoned building that the Vizards just chilled in? So she would dress as a schoolgirl. She had like the mini skirt. She was constantly reading like manga. Like she loved Shonen Jump. So like she would literally be like, I need to pick up the new Shonen Jump.
This was the product placement for the arc.
Yes. So this is back in the early Iran arc, like
right.
early Bleach, and Ichigo, I remember pointed out to her like you why are you reading like teenager shit? You're like hundreds of years old. So like Lisa is like a huge like closet weeb who's super into like the schoolgirl aesthetic, and this is her lieutenant.
Yeah.
So that's what they say, like, oh, she's being influenced by Lisa.
Yeah.
Because they say, oh, she's into that Gyaru thing, and Ichigo's like, that's not a thing. That's only a thing it's not a thing to this extent, at least. Like the way she's doing it is so overboard that she's not being influenced from real world shit. She's being influenced from manga. So she is literally a weeb doing Gyaru weeb shit. Because her captain is Lisa. That's why I like it. Because it makes sense.
It makes sense.
I also love that because, again, one of the reasons I said that she's like Gen Zer is because she looks at Ichigo as like this old-timey Vietnam War vet.
Yeah.
You know, so like, it's kind of the same way, like if a Gen Zer was like, what? You were in the towers in 9/11? That shit was like prehistoric. That happened before I was born. So like
this is terrifying thing because it's real now.
Yes.
There are kids that had never even heard of 9/11.
Fun fact, our artist was born 2 months before 9/11.
Oh,
she was 2 months old.
I'm old!
I know. But anyway, so the fact that she comes up to Ichigo and
do you want to know the terrifying thing? Just for reference, I went through my Facebook memories, and I apparently graduated from college 5 years ago today.
No, boy. Oh, yay. Anyway, so...
Like, think about this, half a decade of my life, I've done nothing with that $50,000 worth of debt.
True. Yeah, hey, man, just... Time enjoyed, wasted is not wasted. Anyway, so I just love that she comes up to him, and she's, like, taking selfies, and, like, it's the hero from the war, because Ichigo, to the Soul Reapers... is literally like a I'm trying to think of a good example, like a heroic figure from our world. Mm-hmm. It's essentially it's not a good comparison. I'm trying to think of like I don't know. No, it's like an actor. God, I'm trying to think of what's a good comparison of like what Ichigo like someone.
He's SEAL Team 6 to the Soul Society.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of like something that like someone that like everyone knows like really well, like a one guy.
He's Batman.
No, hold on. I got it. This is gonna bother me. Damn it! I want a good.
And it was John Cena.
Sure, yeah, it's John Cena. I don't know. Point being, like, this is like she's.
I was trying to salvage it.
She's meeting someone who, no doubt, she like learned about in like Soul Reaper Academy. They probably literally have like a course in Soul Reaper Academy about Ichigo.
Probably
because he broke so many norms. Like all right, so like for years. We didn't do this like shit where we gave humans powers. Some guy named Ginjao Kujo got some, and then he fucking, and then it was against the rules, but then Ichigo came along and changed everything and saved our whole. Like he's probably talked about like a messiah figure in Soul Society. So yeah, to her it's like, oh my god, Ichigo.
Oh my god, it's Jesus Christ.
I love that. Let's see other things. Oh, okay. So then this fucking thing, like
the fucking hell hollow.
The designs are phenomenal. You want to talk about foreshadowing? The very end where Szayela's like, why do you think the fucking butterflies you've used forever are called hell butterflies? Hell is always near you. Hell is merely another side of a coin. Right. You know what I mean? So like the fact that this entire this chapter was made all the more exciting because of the fact that like hell as a concept has always been lurking in the background of Bleach but never touched.
Yeah, it's only been in like non-canon.
The movie, and which is literally confirmed to be non-canon here because the people in hell in the movie were not like this, so it's confirmed non-canon.
Right. It's a nice practice and like, oh, this is a cool concept, but like this confirms that like none of that is fucking real. Because I recently rewatched that fucking movie because it's been years, and it's crazy like how fucking different the two existences are.
Yeah, so let's see. So let's talk about what's up.
Oh, I was wondering why my phone was vibrating. So, apparently our artist is live on Twitch.
This fucking guy that... Oh, God. this guy that's like deaf or mute, both. I don't fucking remember which one, but like he can't talk, right? And he uses sign language. Yeah, I think he is deaf. And your first thought is like, okay, if you can't talk, how do you release your Zanpakuto? Because that's a big part of Bleach, is that you say, strangle him, Benehime, right? The putting Reishi on the tip of his finger and writing the release command on his sword is the coolest fucking thing.
That is awesome.
I love that. And his power turns into a flock of hawks and fucking consumes his enemy. Top tier. That's amazing. And then this Gyaru running up, like, she seems to be like mostly a Kido fighter, because that wasn't Zanpakuto shit. She's using like Kido and stuff, clearly. So she's running up, and like she must have like dense ass Reishi on her feet because she's crushing the fucking. It's so cool, dude.
The manifestation of her attack there, how they did that framing wise.
Oh yeah, and she has like these long ass fucking crazy nails with like, and it's the fangs are like painted on the nails too. Like This just reminds me of how good Kubo is at writing fights.
Right.
Like, his fights were always fun. Like, sometimes he copped out and would do, like, one Clash chapter and shit. But, like, when he did fights, they were fucking good, dude. Also, she bites his crotch out. Very, this bitch thirsty, I'm just saying. This bitch, I don't know. And then this fucking Akon, who is now the new lieutenant of the research and development.
Right.
This was Mayori's third seed. I don't know if you remember him. But like he does some wacky science shit where he's just like 3, 3, 4, 5, like it's just weird fucking, and then just like the legs melt off. Just like the action in this is incredible. Kira shows up, fucking makes him heavy, and then fucking cuts his head off. Just everything is so good. And then Sayel comes and fucking expositions everything. And I like I discussed with David, in Hell they explain it that like all your emotions move to the outside. You can't hide anything in. And since hollow holes represent your emptiness, they have these really cool rings on the hollow holes have physically moved to the outside. So now it's still a hole, but it's on the outside of the body now. And that's so neat, and that's so unique, and it makes it so the design means something. Like it's not just, oh, this looks cool. They look like these like hell angels because they have these like halo-looking things.
Like it's really like the biblically accurate angels.
Yeah, kind of. If they had a hawk face on one end and a boar face on the other end, calf leg.
Well, I mean, like it definitely feels like it's that kind of.
Or if you're talking about the wheel one.
Yeah, it's definitely like that extreme aesthetic that you're going for there.
That's
and
great.
It's something that Kubo's always really good at has been those over the top designs because
his designs are great.
His fashion was always like fashion. So every character had their own aesthetic, every enemy had their own aesthetic, every faction had everything nailed down.
Oh, and also it's just like highly implied that like these hell creatures and like people that are like transformed by hell can just read people's minds now.
Yeah.
Or because he says the gallows of hell are clairvoyant, you don't need to answer. He just knows, like that's your dog.
Right.
He just knew that. Like so I mean, what? So either like he knew that from like watching from hell, or he can literally just know shit or read people's minds.
I'd be curious how they actually handled that development.
Yeah.
So like the Espadas were Spanish in theme. What do you think hell would be?
Well, it depends on if hell has its own unique hell creatures, or if everything in hell is just a transformed version of a creature that already exists, right? Because if it's just a transformed creature, well, we've already, because Fullbringers were English, Quincy's were German, Spanish was Hollows, Japanese is
Soul Reapers.
So is there any? What's left? Oh, don't say anything racist now.
I'm just
hell will be. What did Trump call Mexico? A hellhole country?
Shithole country.
Oh no, that's Spanish though. We can't.
Yeah, because we've already used Spain. No. But
what's the most hellhole? America.
Detroit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Have you tried?
By no fault of the people living in Detroit, by the way. It's because it's underfunded in every way.
Trying to navigate in Detroit is hell.
True. But yeah, I mean, basically just.
Then again, you could say that about any metropolis city hub.
Yeah. So the reveal, essentially, that every former captain that has died is going to be, like, presumably an enemy in this arc. And they have to kind of deal with... They either have to...
Think about that. Everything from fucking Grand Fisher on...
Well, Grand Fisher wasn't captain level.
No.
I don't think he'll be in there.
No, because that was...
Oh, he did get sucked into hell, didn't he?
Yeah.
No. It was Shrieker that got sucked in.
Shrieker.
That was the one that, because he was like literally like putting bombs on kids and shit.
Right, Shrieker. So like everything from Shrieker on down, like insane power wise.
Yeah, because that's true. Anyone that's captain level or above, because remember the tie-in chapter. Did you ever read the tie-in chapter to the Hell movie that he did back in the day?
No.
Yeah, so that one. Hold on. That one was canon. Jesus Christ. That one was canon because it also showed Sayel dropping into hell.
Right.
And also Ariñero, the one that Rukia thought was in there too.
Right! The creepy fucking tall 9-mast dude. Oh, God.
Yes, so that means, oh my god, every Espada might be in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Noritora round 2!
Hell version of Coyote Stark. Hell version of...
God!
Dude, Hell version of Coyote Stark would look so fucking sexy. Imagine, he'd have literal hellhounds. Like his fucking like spiritual wolves would be the hellhounds. What else? Who else would be there? Baragon, Hell version of him. Tia's Hallibel's still alive. Hell version of who's Hell Ukiora. Hell Ukiora, please!
My God, he's already fucking Lucifer!
Oh my god, please. Wait, hold on. Because he like... I don't know. Oh, because I'm torn on that one because his death was really good, but like I would love it. Oh my god.
He is already literally designed after Lucifer.
True. More hell.
We're going to give him a second set of horns, and we're going to barb his...
like a biblically accurate... yeah, I mean...
My Christ, dude.
There's a lot of potential here.
I think I blew my own goddamn mind there.
I was gonna say maybe Ichigo's mom, but that's not how that works, because Quincy's don't have reishi, they have a lack of... in fact, if anything, they have like nega reishi, right? Because they absorb reishi.
Right,
So
dude.
Ichigo's mom would not be there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that... Oh, Ginjo. Ginjo from the Full Ring arc.
Shit.
Yeah, he might be there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. Almost did a stupid there. No, because... Okay, wait, no. Because he was human when he died. And then he went to the Soul... Because we saw him, remember? We saw him in the Soul Society.
Right.
Being trained by Kukaku. Remember?
Yeah,
Very briefly.
God.
So, because he died as a human, but if he ever died as a Soul Reaper, he might...
Definitely go to hell.
Because I'm pretty sure... Yeah, because, I mean, towards the end when he was fighting Ichigo, he's pretty up there. So, yeah. Either way... we should probably start wrapping this up because I do got to leave soon. But that's basically all I have to say. I'm just looking forward to seeing where this goes. It does the end question mark, and it says like new arc. So I mean, yeah, we just need to know where it's going to go.
Right, and this is where Kubo needs to come out and be like, okay, so Burn the Witch Part 2, Q1 2020, Bleach Hell Arc, and Q3 2022. You know, something like that. So it gives us a time frame for this because we know the anime is coming. We know that he wants to continue all these things. We also need to know a bit more about the anime. Like, is it going to adapt the novels so we can stop having expectations through the roof? Because we do want to review the episodes as they come out.
Yeah, we will be, for sure. Whenever that anime happens.
So, I guess stay tuned for more Bleach stuff because it will be coming. Hopefully we get some confirmation for all this shit in the next couple months because that would be awesome. And so with that, peace for me.
Yeah, peace. Sorry, I wasn't trying to ignore you.